You know, I really wanted to talk about Burn the Witch today. You know, Burn the Witch is actually this brand new spin-off of Bleach made by Tite Kubo, and I haven't watched the anime for it, but I have read the manga. Honestly, I feel like I don't know if I should really have read the manga first, and because I've already did that. I've already went through the manga, but I don't know if I should have read it again for this, or I don't know if I should have watched the anime, but since I've already read the damn manga, I might as well make a video based on the anime. I might as well just go do that separately. So yeah, let's talk about Burn the Witch, the manga. So Burn the Witch was actually originally pegged as this one-shot that Kubo was just going to do and just maybe dip. I don't know. Because we already knew about the anime adaptation that came out like not too long after the rest of the chapters came out. First, people thought it was going to be a one-shot. Then we only heard there were 4 chapters coming out. Then we only heard that there was an anime version of it coming out. Then we freaking heard that it was going to get a season 2. So yeah, Burn the Witch is really making waves. I really like it. And I'm glad that Kubo gets to do something new again. Now, before I even go on to start this video proper, I really don't want Kubo to try to, juggle a ton of stuff like he did when Bleach. I love Bleach to death, man. But, Bleach has kind of, some problems. I love Bleach, don't get me wrong. I will love Bleach forever. But, damn, it has some problems. And I hope that Burn the Witch doesn't turn out like that. But from just these 4 chapters alone, seeing how refreshing it is to see Kubo just doing something again, and something completely different. Despite this series taking place in the Bleach universe, it feels completely different. Despite using Kubo's art and most of his characters, some of his characters looking like, what you expect from Kubo, it really does feel like its own thing, I like this because it really just, oh my god, it just really makes it look nice. Like, the art just looks so nice, but I'll talk about the art later. So the story of Burn the Witch is actually not that hard to get, really. It's just going to be hard for me to explain because I'm actually not that smart. So the series takes place in London, and it basically is just the real world city of London. The real world city of London. And this time, however, London has been split into 2 different versions of itself, but they're nearly identical in architecture, right? So there's London we know of, and then there's this opposite side called the Reverse London. The Reverse London actually houses, well, I can't say houses because this is a whole different alternate city, but what is here is actually the western branch of the Soul Society called Wingbind, which, aka, I find it funny that the Wingbind's initials are WB, Wingbind, and it could also mean Western Branch, which I kind of find funny. So the Soul Society has 2 different branches we know of so far. There's the eastern side where the whole world of Bleach takes place, and the Soul Society has a western branch where Burn the Witch takes place. The funny thing about it is, some people had kind of grievances about why is this western branch of the Soul Society even exist, forgetting that Urahara did mention that a western branch of the Soul Society was in this series way early in the beginning of Bleach, which I kind of find it funny that it finally came out to being something here. So instead, we got Soul Reapers and Hollows running around. We get characters like witches and wizards and dragons. So yeah, they're essentially the same. They serve the same purpose of sorts, but they take it into completely different ways. So with witches and wizards, they're basically these agents of Wingbind. They kind of have to do the Wingbind's work. And their whole goal is to kind of like protect these dragons. They have to kind of protect these dragons. They have to tend to these dragons. And some cases, they kind of have to, kill the dragons. And they are pretty much in like this not weird division, but like they're in like different divisions. But they can be called to do other duties and stuff like that. They usually, if a dragon's going off crazy, they kind of have to go off, stop it from rampaging and whatnot. And if they do their job well, they get pay, so they get money, and they also get points, aka achievements. And if I remember correctly, if you get enough achievement points, you get like higher rank, and you get like more money, and you get like promotions and shit. The more points, achievement points you have. So the main characters come into play here. You got characters like your first 2 main female characters. The blonde one is Ninny Spangcole, and her main goal, and she's actually a pop star in the real London, but in Reverse London, she's a witch. And her main goal is to get enough achievement points to go up in rank, so she'll get more fame, as far as I'm aware of, at least. But yeah, her main goal is to get more achievement points, while the other female character, the one with the black hair, Noelle Mihashi, wants more money. They're doing the same thing for technically different goals. And if I remember correctly, Noelle is actually a university student, so I want to make it a joke that she's actually getting this money to pay off her student tuition and stuff like that. So hey, you know, at least it works. So Wingbind itself actually has different divisions. Again, like Soul Society, it has like different members of the Gote 13 handling different stuff. Wingbind also has different divisions and whatnot, and they have basically this higher group called the Top of Horns, which is essentially just the Gote 13 of the Western branch of the Soul Society. They have this group called the Inks, or aka the Magic Circle Corps, and they're led by a man named Bruno Bangknife, who literally looks like Basby. And their goal is to eliminate dark dragons, and they fight with magic. And that's what they do. They actually Bruno actually has this thing where he has like spray cans, and he actually sprays out the magic incantation circles, which is actually really cool. I don't know why. I remember it being used in a couple of other video games, but I love that idea when people just use like spray paint cans and do cool shit with it. Love it. I don't know why that crap just sounds sick. You get this group called the Anthems, and I don't know what they do. Some of these branches of Wingbind don't have like any my brain went flat for a second. They don't have any really any. Ooh, what am I doing? They don't have any much of a definition of yet, because it's still in the early days of this, but they're called the Liturgy Corps. So if I remember what liturgy has something to do, it's more like a religious sort of thing. So they're called the Anthems, and when I think of anthems, I usually think of obviously songs. So maybe they can sing. Maybe they can sing and it cause like magic to happen. I don't know. Don't at me here. But they're led by this woman who also I don't know how to pronounce her name. Like it's spelled Q. Sorry, it's spelled Quuntnire. Quintier. Maleev. I don't know how to pronounce my name, but like, god damn it, dude. Why y'all gotta do shit like to me? God damn it, Kubo. You get this other division called the Pipers, and they're also called the Minstrel Corps. They're also called Conservation Rangers, and they're led by this man named Trombone Takinen, who literally looks like Santa Claus and a white version of Pepe Wakabrada. God damn, why did Kubo come up with Pepe? Does anybody, okay, I'm sorry I'm going on a tangent here. Did anybody even like Pepe Wakabrada from the 1,000 Year Blood War arc of Bleach? Who the hell was he? He looks so terrible and he's gross. Anyway, back to Burn the Witch. And they're basically, their whole deal is to kind of see my brain's flattened again, domestication of dragons, and they kind of harvest the resources that these dragons produce. I'll get into the dragons in a minute. But yeah, that's their main group, and Noelle and Ninny are a part of this group. So they have this thing called a pipe, and it's like this little trumpet-like little instrument kind of thing. And that's where they're able to cast their magic from, and attack and stuff through these pipes, which is kind of cool. They also use these guns, which is also cool. I mean, shit, you get pipes and the guns to do your shit with. That's freaking awesome. You get this another group called the Sabers. And I don't remember what the Sabers do, but if I remember correctly, they're kind of like the police. They're kind of like the tactical corps, because that's what the Viz translation calls it. And I think their goal is to kind of patrol the streets to protect the citizens from the dragons. So I think that's the point of the Sabers. Now, Billy Banks Jr. in like if I remember correctly, in the one shot, he was in the Sabers. But after that, he was demoted. Don't know why. I have no freaking idea. I couldn't tell you. But like, I think Kubo just kind of had like a last minute decision. I don't know if it had anything to do with it, but we'll know in the future. You also have this group called Patchworks, which is actually led by this person named Sokka Ren, who actually didn't show up to the Top of Horns business meeting. So we don't know who the Sokka Ren person is. We don't know if it's we don't know if it's a man. We don't know if it's a woman. But they're called the Development Corps. And what they do is basically they collect and they preserve the corpses of dragons, which is actually really kind of cool. They're kind of like the morgue. I guess we call them a morgue. He also has a group called the Billionaires. They're led by this dude named Harry Shark or Shack. I call him Shark. Shack. Harry Shark. They're called the Accounting Corps, and from their name alone, called the Billionaires, my guess is they have something to do with the money, because they're called the Accounting Corps, and their name are Billionaires. So my guess is they have something to do with money, which would make sense. I guess they have a group that handles the money, like a treasury of sorts. They also has this place called they also has a division called the Gallows, and they also call it the Divine Punishment Squad or Divine Punishment Corps. And with the name like the Gallows and Divine Punishment, I can already tell what they're led by. I mean, they're led by a dude named Wolfgang Slashhout, and this dude looks like he would freaking execute some people. So yeah, it kind of tells you itself what the hell the goddamn freaking Gallows do. But yeah, these witches and wizards are part of this group called Wingbind, and they gotta deal with these dragons on a somewhat daily basis. Now, the thing about these witches and wizards, they don't work on Saturdays, but they have to be called in. Like, it just reminds me of someone having to go to work, and they're like, I don't want to come in this day. Well, shit, we'll give you extra money and achievement points if you do. And I'm like, okay, fine, we'll do it. Shit, what you gotta do? But anyway, as I said before, their whole goal is to try to, keep the peace and handle these dragons out. Now, these dragons are actually a big integral part of, at least so far, to Burn the Witch. So these dragons are actually these supernatural existences in London. And the thing about it is, only people in reverse London, yeah, I forgot to mention, there are people who live in reverse London. There are people who live in reverse London, and they're the only ones able to see these dragons. They use, there's two types of dragons. Well, actually, technically 3, but I'll get into that in a minute. There are 3 types of dragons. I'll get to the third part in a little bit later. But the first 2 dragons you need to know right now are the light dragons. So light dragons are actually these helpful domestic dragons. They really help for pretty much everything, honestly. They help for very, very everyday life. You got dragons that help you fly around. They got dragons that are used for actual transit. They actually have dragons that help you, they can filter out clean water. You got dragons who can basically function like radio wave boosters, because you can hook up to a power cable and they can it's insane. You got certain dragons are kind of like little pot plant, they're like little pots, and they help to cultivate your plants. I mean, what? They also have dragons that you can kill them and harvest for meat. You got dragons that can make medicine. You got dragons that can make fuel, generate electricity, help you produce minerals, help you out with textiles. They can they're used for everything. So these light dragons are pretty helpful. They are needed by everyone in reverse London. But you also have these existences called dark dragons. Now, dark dragons are actually these regular dragons, completely normal dragons, and they come in contact with people and they absorb the people's negative emotions, and they turn into these monstrous entities called dark dragons. So these dark dragons are actually here. They're supposed to be just directly killed by Wingbond, because these dragons actively want to go out, harm, and kill humans. And the thing about it is, one of the main characters, a dog that has been affected by this dragon stuff, called a dragotoxin. Basically, if you come in contact with a dragon, you will get infected by this thing called dragotoxin, which will basically will not give you dragon powers, but will infect you with dragons and make you attracted by, attract these dragons to you. And it'll turn into something called a dragonclad, which is, first of all, the name dragonclad sounds sick as all hell, dude. But yeah, these dark dragons are essentially supposed to be killed by Wingbind, and there's a main character called a Osushi. He's a dog, and he's able to transform to a dog. He's able to transform in and out of his dog form. He doesn't completely turn to a complete dragon, but it sounds sick. I mean, you got a cute little dragon dog. But as I mentioned before, a dragonclad is a being that's essentially classified as this person who's infected by this dragotoxin, and they attract dragons to themselves. So they're kind of like beacons for dragons, which is actually kind of funny to me. I was kind of hoping that more of this dragonclad stuff will be explored more, but granted, we only had 5 chapters to work with, and technically the one shot gets kind of like retextualized in the first 4 chapters, so I can't really say anything. You also have this type of dragon called a Disguiser, and these dragons they're able to like possess and reanimate the corpses of people, and then literally act as if the people were back in their lives. And if I remember what Ninny said, that they used to be a lot around London, but considering they've been like, their numbers have decreased because the streets were kind of the streets were clean. They weren't really encountered all that much, and I think one of these disguises were actually like a big part in the one shot. And yeah, that's dragons in a nutshell. But there's also this one dragon, this really, really top of the line, full badass class of dragons called a Marken, or Marchen, or Machen, because I'm not very good at German, and I know Marken means fairy tale, so I suck at German, god damn it, why? But anyway, these Marken are actually dragons they're really ancient dragons. They've been around, like rumored at least, to existed way before Reverse London was even a thing. And they're basically the progenitors of the Dark Dragons. So basically, get Dark Dragons running around? Well, we get these Markens are way better, or way stronger. And if what is said is that they're humanity's greatest enemy. Like, they're like enemies to humanity. And there are actually 7 of them in existence. We see one of them in a series called Cinderella. And they're based off various fairy tales. So you got Cinderella's one of them, Band of Animals, Sugar House, Bubbles, Golden Axe, Red Dress, and Snow White. Now, Snow White, I don't have to explain that one to you. I mean, Snow White's the same thing. Red Dress, if I want to guess, is Red Riding Hood. Golden Axe, if I want to throw something to the wind, I want to say it's the Honest Woodcutter. It would make sense. It's one of Aesop's fables. So, I mean, it would make sense. Bubbles, look, I'm not very good at trying to remember fairy tales, so I want to say Bubbles is the Little Mermaid. Don't at me on that one. Sugar House is obviously Hansel and Gretel. I don't have to explain that one. Band of Animals, cannot tell you to save my life. And Cinderella is obviously Cinderella. But yeah, I'll figure out Band of Animals once I'm done with this video. But yeah, so the Marken are actually just super strong. And they have like this thing where like they're like normal under the day, but when night comes around, they can molt under the moonlight and achieve their true forms and be so extremely dangerous that even top class wizards and witches can't beat them sometimes because they're super powerful. Hell, they were only able to stop Cinderella, which is, it was freaking hard because they could barely do anything. Hell, not even one of the members of the Top of Horns could beat them, and then they had to like have some assistance from afar. But I'll talk about that when I hit the story section a bit. But yeah, those are like what you need to know about the world. I forgot to mention too much about wizards and witches, but essentially they got they cast spells. The spells are essentially just like Keto from Bleach, but just like different names and different purposes, which they serve some of the same purposes because there's some magic spells that look just like Keto. So yeah, you can see where they came from. But yeah, so that's that for the story of Burn the Witch so far. It ends off pretty good, but I'll have to get into the characters first. So the characters, I already talked a little bit about Noelle and Ninny, but I want to talk about them together. Like, I like these characters from a design standpoint. They look really good. I just gotta mention Kubo's art is always on point. Don't at me here. I love Kubo's art, man. I really do, because like people usually rip on Kubo for like having his characters kind of homogenized in appearance wise. And I will admit that some of his characters kind of homogenized in looks. Like, I'm not going to lie. I mean, hell, you look at Balgo enough, he looks just like freaking Ichigo. And you look at him close enough, you look at Bruno, he looks like Basby. Certain characters look like certain characters, but I really do like Kubo's art. I wouldn't even care if the characters start to homogenize. Kubo's art is really good. But yeah, I want to talk really a little bit about Noelle and Ninny because I really like these two characters. Like, they're really good female protagonists. They're not super mega deep so far, but we got their what they're going to do. We got their backstory, my bad. We got their motivation. They got what they're going to do, and we got what they're going to do. I mean, it's simple as that. I like their designs too. Ninny is actually one of my favorites because like, she gets that look of about Hiyori Saragaki from Bleach, but at the same time, I kind of can deal with her. She looks cool. I really do. I really do like her. And Noelle is just like their personalities really bounce off each other, and I really love it. Because Noelle is more the stoic kind of character, though you can break her if she's like pushed a little bit too far. She's pretty stoic, but she can be broken, and I kind of like that. I remember one time she met one of the characters, Bruno, and then she called his hair dye cringe, which made me laugh so hard because I had never heard the word cringe used that way in a manga before. I haven't heard the word cringe used that way in a manga before, so it threw me off so much, and it made me laugh like a goddamn hyena. But yeah, Noelle is a pretty good source of comedy because she just seems so unfazed by mostly everything. Like, she works pretty well with the characters around her. She's like this dead eye, like not dead eye, but she's like this, just doesn't care, and it makes me laugh. And Ninny is like this really, she's not necessarily abrasive. She's not abrasive or anything like that. She's not like mean or anything, but she's like this more out and about, louder version of like she reminds me a lot. I'm trying to remember like what kind of character in Bleach she reminds me of. It's hard to pin her down, but she's pretty abrasive. She's kind of rude. She's just had a very short temper, but you know, she means well. She's not like a completely mean, although she doesn't like her commanding officer Billy Banks. But we have her goal and stuff like that. She has a heroic goal despite her her attitude towards people. She really has a noble goal. All she wants to do is join the Sabres group in order to defend London. And hell, she even told that she doesn't want Noelle, her own teammate, to join the Sabres. She just wants to take all the glory and defend London herself, which I find hilarious because she's a pop star. She already has this much glory, but you know, she clearly doesn't seem to like. From what I understand, she clearly doesn't seem to like her position as a pop star. She was a part of this group called, if I remember correctly, it's called Cecile Died Twice, and she was part of this group where several other members, including one of her other members named Macy Baljour. And funny enough, Macy Baljour actually comes up later in the series, but I'll get to her when I get to her. But yeah, I like Ninny just from like, she's not a completely evil person. Like she's rude and she has a short temper, but she means well, even if she wants all the glory for herself. I mean, at least she wants it for a noble cause rather than just like, hey man, I just want the fame to just be awesome and shit. I want people to know who I am. But considering we don't know much about these characters yet, and I hope the god Kubo elaborates on their backstories more, we don't know much about Ninny. But I am liking her so far. She's not going to get on my nerves. Not like another character in the group, and that being Balgo Yewang Parks. Balgo is a character that Noelle and Ninny kind of have to take care of because now he's a dragonclad, and they can't let the Wingbind get a hold of him because they get a hold of him, they will kill him. Because later in the story, he gets a not a warrant out for his arrest, but he has like everyone in Reverse London just keep an eye out for him because like now he can be executed at any moment. He gets like a freaking bounty on his head to get killed, and it's kind of sad. But yeah, Balgo is a character that I'm not too much of a fan of, honestly. Like, for the first 4 chapters, he didn't leave that much of an impression on me. Dude just is a pervert. And, you know, perverted characters could work well if they're, like, entertaining. Balgo is not entertaining. Like, people, like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what other people think about Balgo from this series so far. But he comes off very annoying and really shallow. He does have his moments. But like he's not. It doesn't really carry him so far. Granted, as I said before, it's only been like 5 chapters to establish Balgo. But so far, I'm not liking him. So far, I'm not. Like I know, like he means well. I will admit that he means well, and it does show later that he gets this. Like he's given a pipe by the witches, like by Ninny and Noelle, and then he can, instead of like, you know, using what they use out of it, like, you know, their magic skills and shit, he actually can manifest a sword through his pipe. So yeah, I hope that leads to something. I hope he actually gets on the front lines with them, because if he's just going to sit on the back lines and not do anything, I don't know what I don't know. Like, at least his dog Osushi has like an excuse, because at least it's a dog. I mean, hell, the dog has magical powers, man. I don't care. But yeah, Balgo has a sword. It's cool. We don't know, but yeah, I'm not liking him so far. I kind of hope he, you know, gets better. I pray to God he gets better. But outside of them, we got a character in the form of Billy Banks Jr. Now, Billy Banks Jr. is actually pretty interesting. He's this laid-back, casual dude who seems really incompetent at his job, but he's actually snooping around. And then, like, they had to fight back Cinderella, who's now in her quote-unquote ultimate form. He freaking one-shot Cinderella with just a shot to the head. Like, this dragon that was seen and, like, known by legend to be one of humanity's enemies. Billy Banks just one-shots the damn thing with not a care in the world. And he's like, oh, did I just do that? I love this guy already. Like, I knew something was up with him. Like, Kubo has this weird thing where, like, he has these characters and they're, like, really, really eccentric. They're really, laid back, and you would never really see them do anything cool. But freaking, he just one-shots one of the most powerful one of the most powerful enemies in the series that far. Oh man, I know we can't have Billy doing that all the time, but holy shit, that was the coolest shit ever. So outside of Billy Banks and the girls and Balgo, you got characters in the form of Macy Balgeri. Now, characters like Macy Balgeri, I don't see, like, I don't want to call it too early. Like, honestly, I really don't want to call shit too early. But from what I've seen, she is this character. She was part of Noelle's group, and then she kind of fell off the deep end a bit. Like, how do I describe Macy here? First of all, I like her design. Don't get me wrong, I do like her design. She has a little curl in her hair, and like, I don't know why. I just kind of find it funny. Hell, looking at her compared to her, like and her actress, my bad. Her singing. Oh my god, what am I doing? Her singing design looks really, really stark. And considering that her band is called Cecil Died Twice, and there's only two of them. There's only Ninny, I think the performer, and Macy's also the singer. And she's a pretty timid character, but she's in love with Ninny, and she just goes to these extreme lengths to blow up a goddamn office building called the Realists. And she actually attempts to blow up the office in Reverse London because they were basically bringing out fake stories about Ninny hating Macy to try to drum up some kind of controversy between the two. And Macy was so goddamn pissed off that she made her way to Reverse London. Keep in mind, Macy is a regular human at the beginning of this. And she tried to destroy the office of Reverse London because the thing that happens is if you destroy something in Reverse London, it affects the real London. So if she blew up the building, if she blew up the Realists in Reverse London, it will occur the same way in regular London. So, yay. So I guess in a way she could do it in Reverse London without being too much in some crazy trouble. Because hell, haven't seen you can't, use a dragon in regular London and then get away with it. But yeah, I gotta stop saying like regular London. I gotta say front London because it just sounds easier to say. But anyway, she's also kind of crazy because the moment she saw Noelle being near Ninny, she just flipped and she threw a goddamn table, or I think it was a chair. She tried to throw it was either a table or a chair, or she tried to throw something. I can't remember, but she tried to throw something at Noelle for just being near her. And she just went flipping crazy. But in the end of all of it, Macy's she doesn't really have a purpose in her life. And she never really felt comfortable in her little group, Cecil Died Twice, because she only really stayed around because Ninny was there. She only really stayed because the person she loved was there. And she doesn't really have a purpose of her own because she doesn't really have a purpose of her own life. She doesn't really feel something for her own, which I was expecting Macy to get this much development in just this short amount of time, considering she only came in, I think, like around chapter 2 of Burn the Witch. So, it's really cool though. And she also made friends with Cinderella though. She found a baby Cinderella, she took it home, she raised it, and she hoped that one day that Cinderella was going to keep her special, but Cinderella turned out to be this evil dragon, and she really couldn't do that and whatnot. Later along the line, they actually revealed that Macy has a high spiritual awareness, which makes her called a watcher. She's able to see these spiritual dragons in reverse London. And on top of that, now she's a dragon-clad. So, now Balgo and her are dragon-clad. So hopefully they can actually, interact and, get cool with each other, because I'm gonna get sad. I also want to see a relationship more with Ninny, but that's a different story for a different time. So outside of these characters, now we have the Top of Horns. The only other characters we have in the series is the Top of Horns. And the Top of Horns are actually the dudes who basically, they're the ones who run Wingbind. And I've mentioned their groups before. I remember I mentioned the Gallows, I mentioned Patchworks, the Inks, etc., etc. So these are the people who run it. So the main character that we really, one of the main members of Wingbind we really get to see more of is Bruno Bangknife. And he's actually the director of the Inks division of Wingbind. And he's like this, okay, first of all, he's sick because he has like the coolest design, even though he looks like Basby. He can use, like, he's responsible for creating magic incantation circles of his group. And he's able to take like spray cans and spray out the magic circles. He has this cool ass dark dragon he commands. He can summon this magical portal which can dump literal words on people and kill them. He can summon this magical creature. Like, the dude can do a lot of shit, and I like Bruno. I really do. Like, he has this cool ass dragon mask. Like, not dragon mask, my bad. It's skull mask, which I'm like, damn, it reminds me of like a hollow mask, which I kind of like. Yeah, Bruno's pretty cool though, and he's not a complete evil bad guy. I thought he was just gonna be like the bad guy for this manga, because he's technically the main, not main antagonist, but he was like one of the main antagonists for the manga. But in the end, it shows that he's kind of humble. He let Balgo go after you put a warrant out for him. He was the one who put out the hit for Balgos, and I like that he took it away after all that because they feel like they can use him. So he's not a completely bad guy, which I like, and I hope he sticks around. Another member of Top of Horns we have is Roy B. Dipper, the only black man. I'm not gonna make a big deal about he's being black because I made so many jokes about it before. But yeah, he's the director of the anthems. You got that woman, I can never pronounce her name. Quintier, Melview, whatever. I'm just gonna call her blonde chick, and she's the director of the Sacreds. Trombone Takinen, he's the director of the Pipers. So yeah, considering Noelle and Ninny are part of the Pipers, since he's a leader, I feel like we're gonna see him more. Don't know, because obviously Billy is the commanding officer, so we don't know, but hell, we'll know later. And you get another character in the form of Sullivan Squire, which I thought was a dude at first because of the name Sullivan, but apparently women can be named Sullivan here in London. I like her though. She has a cool design. Like, I like the whole female military outfit thing. She just looks sick as hell, and I'm glad she got more characterization compared to the other members of Wingbind so far. She has this weird relationship with Billy. She doesn't really approve of him all that well, and she really does believe in being professional and responsible. And when she sees Billy not being professional and responsible, like, she's all like, what the hell? And like, I felt like she really didn't she really felt like she okay, I remember I forgot to mention that Billy got demoted. He got demoted. I think I did mention that already. No, but anyway, he got demoted from his group. He was in the Sabres, and then he got demoted to the Pipers. And funny enough, I did not know this stuff wasn't ranked, so we can assume that more of these ranks, like instead of being divisions, or they count as ranks. I feel like if Billy got demoted, I don't know. Like, I don't know if like being demoted is like something like, I don't know how it works, because like I think these just like regular 8 divisions. I guess these divisions are like, because then again, Ninny did mention that she wanted to join the Sabres, and I guess the Pipers is like a rank below the Sabres. But anyway, she actually felt kind of sad that she actually felt kind of bad that Billy didn't even like tell her goodbye when he was demoted. From the Saber, and she has a relationship. She has to have some kind of relationship with the guy, because she did a lot of things for her, apparently, from what she said, and she felt sad that he even said goodbye after she got demoted. And then she's even like seeing him snooping around the Top of Horns meeting room, and then she's all like, okay, Like, what's going on? Like, Billy's all like, oh, I ain't doing nothing. And she's like, I know you're doing something. And like, I don't know, man. She ain't falling for his shit. And like, after Billy took out Cinderella in one shot, she was just like, phew. She's like, if I remember correctly, she said something about like, she didn't want to, like, she was glad for not underestimating Billy, which I like that because I want to see what the relationship really is. Like, considering Billy is like seemingly way older than Sullivan, I don't know if like she's someone she looked up to as a kid or something like that. That would be a cool angle to take it. Like, she admired Billy, but she wanted to become someone like him, but really couldn't, or something like that. I don't know. I'm speaking too far ahead in the future. But as of named characters, we have another character named Harry Shack. He doesn't do much. We don't know who he is so far. He's pretty laid back and casual, and he's part of the Billionaires. He's the leader of the Billionaires, and another character is Wolfgang Slashhout. But that's about every character in Burn the Witch so far. That's pretty much every character in Burn the Witch so far. Honestly, that's everyone. They're all pretty cool characters. They also leave a really good impression on me at first. So I hope to see more of them later. I already mentioned Kubo's art, just top of the line, really good, man. Like, all these new characters look really distinctive and really cool off the bat. Like, the only character I really have like my grievances with is Balgo. He looks pretty plain. He literally looks like just a diet Ichigo, but I can forgive that as long as Balgo becomes something in the future. And speaking of the future, I don't know what I want the series to take it. It's far too early for me to say something, but all I want is just this series not to end up like Bleach, you know? Like, I love Bleach, don't get me wrong, but Kubo's health did not, put him in the best mindset to kind of make Bleach. Now, he said he ended Bleach like he wanted to, so I guess I can't really say nothing about that, but there are clear holes and problems in Bleach, so I hope he can help, find a way to fix that and Burn the Witch. With these seasons, I hope that it gives him enough breathing room to work. But, yeah, any miscellaneous thoughts I have? No. I need to watch the anime because I gotta make a video about the anime soon after this anyway, so yay, Burn the Witch. I am really stoked. I'm really wanting to see more. I apologize for you guys hearing me just ramble on about this shit. I know there are some people actually that like hearing me talk, which thank you for sticking around this long if you made it to the end of the video. But yeah, that's the end of me talking about Burn the Witch. See you all next time. Peace out, and read Burn the Witch. It's free. It's out there. Shueisha and Viz got there on their apps. Read it. It's free. Might as well take advantage of reading now. Hopefully you guys get interested. I pray to God you guys read this and then come. Actually, if you made it to the end of the video, please go and read Burn the Witch before you come back and watch this video, because I know for a fact that no one is going to know what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, see you all next time.